Shabbat shalom, everyone. You are stuck with me tonight. Get your earplugs out. Or cotton balls or whatever. Noise-canceling earbuds, though, are not permissible because it's Shabbat. Let's open up to our Sidurim on page 11 for Lechu Neranena. Lechu Neranena, Neranena, Ladonai Naria, Naria, Litzor Ishenu. Lechu Neranena, Neranena, Ladonai Naria, Naria, Litzor Ishenu. Nekadma fanav, nekadma fanav, nekadma fanav betoda. Bizmirot, bizmirot, nariyalo. Bizmirot, bizmirot, nariyalo. Kiel gadol. Arbaim shana kud bedor, va'omar am tohev levavhem, vehem lo yadu derachai. Asher nishbati v'api, im yavun el menuchati. Shiru ladonai, shir chadash, shiru ladonai, kol haaretz. Shiru ladonai, barchu shemo, basru miyom leyom yeshuato, sapru vagoyim kevodo, bechol ha'amim nifleotav, ki gadol Adonai, umlal me'od, norahu, al kol Elohim, yai lai lai, yalai lai lai lai, yalai lai lai lai, yalai lai lai lai, yalai lai, yalai lai, yalai lai lai lai, yalai lai lai lai, yalai lai lai lai, yalai lai, yalai lai, yalai lai lai lai, yalai lai, yalai lai, yalai, yalai lai lai lai. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Ihiram hayam, Ihiram hayam, Ihiram hayam, umleo, Ihiram hayam, Ihiram hayam, Ihiram hayam, umleo. Yallo sadek. Yishbot tevel b'tzedek ve'amim be'emunato. Page 15. Adonai malach teokel. O Havei Adonai sinura, shomer nashot chasidav, miyad reshayim yatzilem. Or zaru ala tzadik, ulishrei lev simacha, simchu tzadikim badonai, v'hodu lezecher kodsho. Page 17. Mizmor shilonai shir chadash, ki niflaot ahasa, hoshia lo yemino, uzroa kodsho. Lihif Adonai kiva lishbot haaretz, yishbot tevel b'tzedek, v'yamim b'meisharim. Page 19. Adonai malach yirgezu amim, Yoshev krovim tanu ta'aretz, Adonai b'tzion gadol, v'ramhu al kol ha'amim. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Yai lai lai, ya lai lai, ya lai lai, lai lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai lai, ya lai lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai 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 lai. Please rise, Mizmor David, page 21. Mizmor David. Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, Havu l'Adonai, Kavod va'oz, ay, 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 Havu l'Adonai, Kevod shemo, Shtachavu l'Adonai, V'hatrat kodesh, Kol Adonai, al ha'mayim, el ha'kavod hirim, Adonai al-mayim rabim, kol Adonai ba'koach, ay, 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 kol Adonai behadar, kol Adonai shover arazim, vayishaber Adonai et harzei halvanon, Vayakidem kemo egel Levanon Vesiryon kemo venre'emim ay 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 Kol Adonai chotzev lavotesh Kol Adonai yachil mihidbar Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yecholel ayalot, Vayechesof ye'arot, Uvehechalo, Kulo omer kavod, ay, 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 Adonai lamabul yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo vashalom. Yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Please be seated. We continue Lecha Dodi, page 23. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, yadadai, 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Hishmianu el hamyuchad Adonai echad ushemo echad L'shem ultiferet ve'litila Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 me Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'makshavat chila, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, yadadai, p'nei Shabbat nekabela, mikdash melech ir melucha, kumi tzei mitoch hafecha, rav lahach shevet be'emek habacha, vehu yachamol alay chemla, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, hitnari me'ar farkumi, livshi bigday tifar techami, al yad ben ishai bet halachmi, korva el nafshi ge'ahala, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, hitoreri, kiva orech, kumi ori, uri, shirdaberi, kevod Adonai, alayich nigla, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, lo tevoshi velo tikalmi, ma tishtochi u'ma tehemi, bach yechesu aniye ami, v'nivneta ir altila, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, v'hayu limshisa shosayich, v'rachaku komev alayich, yasis alayich Elohayich, kimso hoschatan al kahala, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, yamin usmol tifrotzi, Ve'et Adonai ta'arihitzi, al yad ish ben parzi, ve'nismecha ve'nagila, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha uv'tzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Please be seated. We mourn the passing of Robert Bob Lieberman, the father of Deborah and father-in-law of David Beater, grandfather of Ben and Joseph Beater, and we pray that his family are comforted by the words of our tradition. May God grant them comfort as God comforts all the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. Page 27. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat, tov lehodot lahadonai, ulzamer lishimcha elyon, ulzamer lishimcha elyon, lehagid baboker chastecha, ve'emunatecha balelot, ale asor balei navel, ale higayon bechinor, mizmor shir leyom hashabbat, tov lehodot lahadonai, ulzamer lishimcha elyon, ulzamer lishimcha elyon. Ki smoked on it. Tzadikata mar yifrach ke'erez balvanon yiske shetulim bevet Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun b'seva Deshenim verananim yiyu lehagid ki ashar Adonai tzuri velo avlatabo. Adonai malach geut lavesh lavesh Adonai ozid hazar af tikon tevel bamot timot. Edotecha nemnu ma'od levetecha naval kodesh, Adonai la'orech yamim. Mourner's Kaddish, page 30. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah, v'alma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayedecha beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach leolam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'reichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We rise for the Baruch Hu, page 39. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam vaed. Please be seated. Baruch Adonai. Uma'avir yom u'mevi laila, uma'avdil ben yom u'vein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, elechai v'kayam, ta'amidim lo kalinu li'olam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Avat olam, page 40. Avat olam b'd Israel. Yihem chayenu ve'orech yamenu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, le'avatecha al tasim imenu le'olamim, Baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shiftecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein enecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'hisharecha v'haya im shmot shmo. Adonai Elohechem Emet. The Emunah, 43. Page 44. Umalchuto beratzon kiblo alehem Moshe uvnei Yisrael lechanu shira b'simcha rabba v'yamru chulam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh nora tehilot o sefele nora tehilot o sefele Malachut charonecha bokeyam lifnei Moshe ze'eli anu v'yamru Adonai imloch leolam vahed v'ne'emar kifada Adonai Yaakov uglomia chazak mimenu Baruch ata Adonai Gal Yisrael Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu. Ushmor tzeitenu uvo'enu l'chaim u'shalom me'ata v'yad olam u'foros alenu sukat shlomecha Baruch ata Adonai hapore sukat shalom alenu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. I'd like to invite the children who are here to join me on the bima for V'shamru, page 46. Please rise. Shalosh arba. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beinu vein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat
לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Great job. You come back for Kiddush later? Okay. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayeichon uvyomeichon uvchayedecho beit Israel bahagala uvizman kahariv imru amen yehi shmei rabbah mevarach Le'olam le'al me'al maya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudisha b'richu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. We continue silently with the Amidah, beginning on page 47. We continue with Me'en Sheva, page 53. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayechol Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishpot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa Vayevarech Elohim et Yom Hashvi, Vaykadesh oto, Ki hivo Shabbat mikol melachto, Asher bara Elohim la'asot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'le'avotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Vanara El Elyon Konei Shamayim Va'aretz Magen Avot Bidvaro Mechaye Meitim B'mamaro Ha'el HaKadosh She'ein Kamohu המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו, כי רצה להניח להם, כי רצה להניח להם, לפניו נעבוד ביראה ופחד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום ותמיד, מעון הברכות. אל ההודעות, אדון השלום, מקדש השבת, מברך שביעי, ומניח בקדושה, לעמדו שני עונג, זכר למעשה וראשית. אלוהינו ולאבותינו, ברצי ומנוחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך ותן חלקנו בתורתך, סבנו מטובך ושמחנו בישועתך, וטהר ליבנו לעבדך באמת. והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה ורצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו בה ישראל מקדש שמך. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברך גאולתי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומייכון וחי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם לעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקדושה בריחו, לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושורתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. תתקבל צול תהון ובהודון לכל ישראל, קודם ובהון דבי שמיה, ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו amen. Please be seated. Shabbat Shalom. This is not our way. It is criminal violence against innocence. It harms us as a moral society and a lawful country. These words were uttered this week by Israel's president, Isaac Herzog. And he shared these words with his country, not because of some raging political corruption scandal or some other civil unrest between Jews and Jews. He made these remarks after a pogrom that swept through the Palestinian town of Huwara, which is just south of Shechem, just south of Nablus. And I and other rabbis and other thought leaders here and in Israel don't use that word lightly. But it was violence that was perpetrated by Jews, by religious ultranationalists against the Palestinians who live in that town. And that pogrom followed the murder of two brothers, the Yaniv brothers, who were murdered simply because they were Jewish Israelis. But what happened in the wake of their murder is absolutely unforgivable and deserves the greatest condemnation, which is why the President of Israel said what he said. And
What was really mind-boggling and horrific was that as these perpetrators of this pogrom burned and pillaged and killed and lit homes and cars on fire, they realized that the sun had set, so they decided to daven Mariv. And that made me think of Isaiah's condemnation. The Haftarah that we chant on Yom Kippur, where Isaiah harshly critiques his society and calls everyone around him a bunch of hypocrites. The sacrifices that Israelites were offering in his day, Isaiah basically says, makes God want to vomit, because you were so immoral. And yet you think that because you engage in ritual, that somehow that facade is going to cover up your immorality. This Shabbat is Shabbat Zachor. It's one of the 4 special Shabbatot that precede Passover, and it is the one that immediately precedes Purim. And it's called Shabbat Zachor because in the Maftir, we read passage related to what happened to the Israelites as they were wandering through the wilderness. In the 25th chapter of Devarim, of Deuteronomy, the Torah says, "Remember what Amalek did to you on your journey after you left Egypt, how undeterred by fear of God, he surprised you on the march, when you were famished and weary and cut down all the stragglers in your rear. Therefore, when the Lord your God grants you safety from all your enemies around you, and the land that the Lord your God is giving you as a hereditary portion, you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Do not forget." Now we read this because, according to rabbinic tradition, the villain of the Purim story, Haman, the Agagite, is a descendant of Amalek. And just as Amalek tried to destroy the people of Israel in the wilderness, Haman tried to destroy the Jews of Persia. Now, we all think that what was really bad about this attack of the Amalekites was that they attacked all the weary and the old who were in the back as the people were making their way through the wilderness. But the Sefer HaChinuch tells us that Amalek is referred to as the first nation because Amalek was the first nation to begin attacking and harassing the Israelites when they began the journey out of Egypt. It wasn't just at this one time. Beginning with the Exodus, the Amalekites are harassing and attacking and terrorizing the Israelites. Can you imagine you're on a journey, and from the beginning of that journey, you're being attacked savagely by a savage people? That's what a pogrom is like, except time is collapsed. It's not for a whole journey, but it's for a horrendous night or a horrendous day or maybe several days. And we know all too well, because we probably heard, those of us who were old enough, from our great-grandparents or grandparents about the pogroms that they or their family lived through in places like Kishinev and other shtetl in the Pale of Settlement, which were state-sponsored. And the people who went in and did what they didn't just do it alone. They had the support of people in their government. And the police didn't do what they should have done. And we should all be ashamed of it. There is something wonderful about Purim, and we're going to see it on Monday night. We're going to get all dressed up. And everybody thinks that Purim is a kid's holiday. It is, but you know what? It's really an adult holiday. Because the commandment isn't only to hear the Megillah read, it is to get so drunk that you cannot tell the difference between Mordechai and Haman. And children are not supposed to get drunk. You're not supposed to drink, except a little bit of kiddush wine, right? On Friday night and Shabbat morning. So it's an adult holiday. And we read the story where, in the end, what happens? The Jews of Persia, they do a lot of fighting. They do a lot of killing. And there's a tension between the frivolity and the joy of the holiday and a darker side of the holiday. We have to be aware of when we become so drunk because we have so much power that we forget that as Jews we have to use that power and authority morally. And when you are engaged in a legal occupation according to international law, an occupation that comes about because of a conflict, and occupations are recognized as legal. I'm not going to argue about are we really occupying it because isn't it really our land? I'm not going to get into that. But when you are a legal occupier, you have a responsibility to protect the civilians who are under your occupation. And there was a failure this week. It was catastrophic and horrific. And you begin to wonder, who is Amalek? We should never, ever be Amalek. But we saw what happened in that town, that Amalek was alive and well. So it is our responsibility, those of us who are proud Zionists, and I challenge anyone here to claim to be a bigger Zionist than me. But we have to speak out and condemn things like what happened this week. And we have to say, like President Herzog did, that is not who we are. We have to do everything we can to make sure that we don't turn into that. Celebrating Purim this year and listening closely to the story, let's take that message about who Amalek was, who we should be, who we should not become. And for those of us who are adults, get really drunk. Shabbat Shalom. Baruch Tiyah. Hey kids, you want to come back up? Help me out with Kiddush? Jeff? You want to hand out the... Anybody want Kiddush grape juice? You're not going to get drunk on this. I promise you. But it's really good. Eli? That one? There you go. Got it? A few more.
Page 55.
And
I got it. Here. Hi, Fee. You can stand right in the middle. Too small. This one.
it's right here. Page 55. Ready? Shalosh Arba. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu mitzvotav
v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit, ki hu yom techila, l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu b'charta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uv'ratzon, hinchatanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha'shabbat. L'chaim.
L'chaim. All right, Miss Percussiony.
Wait a minute, is this grape juice or wine?
This is interesting tasting grape juice.
No wonder they're enjoying it.
I can't tell.
Aleinu, page 56.
Just drink it out.
Ready?
Whatever.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, lateit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyeh haratzot, velo samanu kimishpachot adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam. Sit around.
Horim, umishtachavim,
Umodim. Lifnei Melech, Malachei Hamachim,
hakadosh
Baruch Hu,
She'unot shamayim ve'yosef
Haaretz, Moshe v'yakaro v'shamayim imal, U'shchinatu zot, v'gavhei meromim, Hu Eloheinu eino, Emek Malkeinu efezu ato, Hakatu v'torato, v'yadata hayom v'chashavota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim v'mal, v'al haaretz mitachat einod al kenek avalecha. I don't know. Turn the page. Good job. Katuv b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Great job. You can go back to your seats. Throw garbage right there. In the coming week, we will observe the following yortzites: Saul Altabet, Aaron Ashkenazi, Rosalind Baer, Ann Berman, Barry Doe Bagan, Leo Bodman, David Bowman, Ruth Canty, Michael Chestnut, Sally Cohen, Barbara Korova, Moshe Dauki, Edith Dichter, Edward Norman Dubé, Louise Eaton, Irving Epstein, Edith Epstein, Joseph Feinstein, Natalie Feld, Reva Fine, Morris Feingold, Sylvia Fish, Nancy Hoffman, Bacchus Foran, Marcus Getz, Marvin Glick, Margaret Handler, Asher Shosh, Ethel Jaffe, Leslie Jarrell, Fanny Kamenoff, Leo Kirstein, Marvin Klass, Albert Kovsky, Louis Landsman, Edith Lass, Harry Letterman, Thomas Letterman, David Levy, Jack Lewitt, Harry Lipman, Thelma Lee Matt, Marcy Meisner, Rebecca Mendelman, Kenneth Morse, Miriam Newman, Phil Polloy, Joseph Pollock, Harold Polsky, Alan Rappaport, Benjamin Raskine, Barbara Cohen-Rawson, Ethel Rudin, Mark Schnitzer, Ethan Seidel, Julia Schaffer, Evelyn Sunshine, Alvin Steinberg, Sam Strom, Pavel Sitman, Branka Sitman, Mary Turlinchamp, Florence Tobias, Bernard Tucker, Theodore Vaskovich, Sarah Walker, Franz Wenger, Moshe Ziv. We also observe the yahrzeit of Seaman Second Class Seymour Bressler of the U.S. Coast Guard, who entered service from the Bronx. He went missing in action on March 9th, 1944. His name is engraved on the walls of the missing in the cemetery that's located in Cambridge, England. He was decorated with the Purple Heart. When we say Kaddish for Seaman Second Class Bressler, we say Kaddish for all service personnel who were either killed in action or who went missing in action, and who have a yahrzeit this week. Warner's Kaddish, page 58. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, v'alma divra kiruteh v'amlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayedecha Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, Shemei Kudisha B'reichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. I'd now like to invite our Treasurer, Vice President for Finance, member of our Executive, Jeffrey Packer, to share announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. On behalf of the board of H&T, I welcome everyone here, and Yasher Koach, Rabbi, I know it was a challenge without Cantor here, did a great job. Hit the high notes, the low notes, everyone in between. Nice. Anyway, a few announcements. Really excited about Purim Spiel this year. It's Monday, March 6th at 7 p.m. This year, the decision was made, you know what? We have an incredible resource that we are underutilizing here at Herzl, and that is the kidlets. And so we are really involving them in this year's Spiel. We're going to kick off the Spiel with a costume parade, and we hope to see everyone here at this family-friendly, community-based event. Also excited about this next item. We haven't had an in-person legacy fundraiser in a couple years. This year's 2023 legacy fundraiser is coming up next Saturday after Shabbat. We're going to be honoring David and Lorna Eisenberg as the recipients of the Bob Zimmerman Community Leadership Award. So again, Saturday, March 11th. Starts at 7 p.m., doors open at 6:30. We are doing a Havdalah service. We're going to have music as a trio, and we're doing cocktails and bites. So look forward. Still time to register if you haven't already. Daytimers Lunch and Film is Wednesday, March 15th, 11:30 a.m. This, I don't know this one. It's a British comedy, Doe. Sonny's nodding his head, so it must be a good one. Register by March 8th for early bird pricing. We are kicking off a new programming event starting Saturday, March 18th after Kiddush lunch. The acronym is PEP, and it stands for Pray, Eat, Play. And so this is going to be a once-a-month program where people are going to get together to play board games and schmooze. And then just the general housekeeping announcement, you know, as you leave, make sure you pick up everything that you brought with you and take it. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thanks, Chef. We're going to conclude with Igdal on page 62. Yigdal Elohim Chai ve'yishtabach nimtza v'yed el mitziuto
אחד ואין יחיד כייחודו, נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו. אין לו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף, לא נערוך אליו קדושתו. קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא, ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו. הינו אדון עולם וכל נוצר, יורה גדולתו ומלכותו. שפע נבואתו נתנו, אלא אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו. קם בישראל כמו שעוד, נביא ומעביד את אמונתו. תורת אמת נתן לעמו אל, על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו. לא יחליף האל ולא ימיר דתו, לעולמים לזולתו. צופה ויודע סתרנו, מביט לסוף דבר כמתו. גומל לאיש חסד כמפעלו, נותן לרשע רע כרשעתו. ישלח לקץ ימין משיחנו, לפדות מחכה קץ ישועתו. מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו, ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו. מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו, ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו. Shabbat shalom, everyone.